GLP-1 medication like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro are helping people lose a lot of weight, but at what cost? So whether you're currently on one of these medications, thinking about starting it, or just not sure what to do, this is the video for you. Hello, gorgeous girl. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Tracy. I'm 50 years old and I have been a certified personal trainer and Pilates instructor for over 25 years. And I've been in the wellness industry for a very long time. So I just want to start this video off by saying I'm not here to scare you, and I'm certainly not here to shame you at all. But as a woman who has spent decades working specifically with women over the age of 40, some of the things that I'm seeing is actually quite alarming, and I don't hear people actually talking about this enough. So today we're going to talk about what GLP-1 medication is, what are the benefits, and actually there are quite a few, and also some of the downsides of the medications that, in my opinion, are just not getting enough attention. So let's make a pact here as a community to keep this a really honest and non-judgmental place. Because at the end of the day, I'm certainly not a doctor, nor am I your doctor, and it's your body and it's your choice whether you choose to use this medication or you choose not to. But in my opinion, having the right information can be the difference between having a short-term fix or a long-term transformation. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want, right? So what the heck are GLP-1 medications? GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonist. These medications basically mimic a hormone that your body naturally produces after eating. They slow down your gastric emptying, so that basically just means you're gonna feel full a lot longer than you would if you didn't have the medication. It decreases your appetite by working on the brain receptors that tell you whether you're hungry or not. They help improve your insulin sensitivity, and they can even help lower your blood sugar. All good things, right? GLP-1 medication, there's lots of different names. Semaglutide is basically the generic name for Ozempic or Wegovy. Plus, there's also a medication that's actually becoming a little bit more popular, which is a GLP-1 plus a GIP medication. And that's basically the generic name is tirzepatide. Now, brand names for tirzepatide can be Mounjaro or Zepbound. And you see all these commercials if you ever watch like nighttime TV. So basically, these medications, no matter which one that you're on, they're going to mimic your natural hormone that regulate your hunger, make you actually want to eat less, and can even help control your blood sugar. But it's a lot more complicated than just that. Okay, so let's get into the big promises of these medications, all right? Number one, you're gonna lose weight. And raise your hand if you've ever wanted to drop some pounds. Clinical studies show an average weight loss of 15 to 20% with semaglutide and up to 22% with tirzepatide. So think about it. If there's someone that weighs about 200 pounds, that could mean pretty easily losing 30 to even 44 pounds. And you might have been struggling with that weight for decades. These medications can help with your blood sugar regulation. So what these do is it improves your insulin secretion and helps to regulate blood sugar spikes that naturally occur after eating. It can also help to lower your A1C numbers, and that basically is really, really important because that's your long-term blood sugar levels. And when we have higher blood sugar levels, this can lead to a host of other problems like inflammation or even type 2 diabetes, especially as we get older. Now, there's new emerging data that shows that these kinds of medications can even help with our cognitive function by reducing inflammation. It can improve your memory, improve your learning, and even decrease your risk for Alzheimer's, which that's super promising, especially for older adults. Now, inflammation is a silent killer for so many of us and can lead to so many other health problems, and these medications have been shown to actually help reduce inflammation. This is especially important for women who have PCOS, which for so many people, it's just really hard to diagnose PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. We've seen cardiovascular improvements with GLP-1 medications, like lowering your blood pressure and even reducing your LDL cholesterol, and other health markers like improving your liver enzymes and reduced visceral fat. And I have been in menopause for 2.5 years, and I probably don't have to tell you that during menopause, visceral fat becomes that silent killer, where it's the fat around our organs, and that can really lead to major scary health conditions later, or even death. So all this sounds amazing, right? And you're like, yes, give me that GLP-1. I get it, but let's talk about the flip side. And these are some of the cons about the medication. One of the biggest downsides of these medications, because the weight loss is actually so rapid, is that most people experience muscle loss. And if you're a smart girly and you're on my channel, you know I talk about muscle loss all the time, because we naturally start losing muscle at an accelerated rate over the age of 40. So as you know, one of the biggest concerns with women over the age of 40 is losing muscle mass, but this is actually increased a huge amount, especially if you are on any GLP-1 medications. And let's face it, muscle loss is not something any of us want to mess around with. So a couple months ago, I started doing something new. And when I tell you, this has made such a huge difference for me, and I was quite honestly shocked by how much I loved it. I was sent a sample of Kion aminos, and let me tell you, this is something that I am loving so much. This tiny little scoop has been a game changer for my body, my energy, and so much more. So I don't have to tell you how important protein is, right? When it comes to our muscle tone, our energy, even our hair and our skin, right? But here's one thing that a lot of people don't actually realize. As we get older, and especially if you're perimenopausal or menopausal like me, we don't actually absorb as much protein as efficiently as we used to. Which means even if you're eating the right amount of grams of protein in a day, your body might not actually be using it. And I know for a lot of you, that's gonna be like a light bulb moment, right? You're like, wait a minute, I've been tracking my grams of protein. Why do I still feel so tired? No more, my friend. That's why I love these aminos. Kion aminos gives you all 9 essential amino acids, the ones your body actually has to get from food in a light and easy to drink powder. It's super clean, it's backed by science, and honestly, it tastes amazing. The mango flavor is my absolute favorite. It's so good. So each scoop gives you 5 grams of EAAs, which that's equivalent to 15 grams of whey protein. So especially if you are a vegan or a plant-based girly, this is huge for you. And I also love it because it's so much easier for your body to use EAAs than traditional protein or protein powders. It's made a huge difference in how I feel during my workouts, after my workouts, and I noticed that I have this like great sustained energy that if you're a girl like me, you absolutely need and love. So if you're trying to get in enough protein, which is obviously especially important for those of us that are perimenopausal or menopausal, and you want to support your muscles and your energy, or just quite honestly feel amazing, you gotta check out the Kion aminos. I'll leave the link in the description, and using my link will save you 20%. You're welcome. There's no code needed. Oh, and you also have a 60-day money-back guarantee. We love a guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk at all. I'm telling you, this is a game changer. And if you are a GLP-1 girly, you want to get on the Kion aminos train. Choo-choo. All right. So there's research that shows up to 30 to 40% of weight loss can potentially come from lean muscle mass. That's not a good thing. For example, if you've lost 20 pounds, up to 8 pounds of that could potentially be lean muscle mass, unless you're doing the right things. And if you're with me, I'll hook you up. Now, women over the age of 40 need to preserve their muscle mass, not only for their metabolism, but also for their bone density. And that muscle mass also helps with our mobility and our energy, which, I don't have to tell you, as we get older, starts to decline as well. And because these medications tend to suppress your appetite, a lot of people tend to experience that they're just not hungry, so they just kind of skip meals. And so as a result, they're also accelerating that muscle loss, which again, horrible. So this is why I just want to reiterate, you absolutely must, if you're over the age of 40, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, you absolutely need to incorporate strength and resistance training into your workouts. I talk about this literally all the time on my channel, but especially if you are a GLP-1 girly, this is key, because the last thing that you want is to have that accelerated muscle loss, because then you'll kind of experience that sort of skinny fat, which no one wants. And I don't have to tell you, it is super, super hard after the age of 40 to rebuild that muscle mass. Another huge problem with these medications is that it kind of gives you that quick fix. You know, I love and I'm fully in support of people, especially if you've struggled with your weight for decades and you really feel like you've tried everything and finally you're getting that weight loss you want. We are like full applause all the way around. But you haven't created a habit change. And this is the biggest thing that people just don't talk about enough. Sure, if you're injecting yourself and you're getting these hormonal shifts and changes from the medication and all of the positive aspects, what you're not getting is the change in your mindset. And if you don't have your habits changed, guess what's gonna happen? You go off of this medication and immediately you're gonna gain that weight back and even more. And I hear women complaining about this literally all the time. And because so many women experience muscle loss, that means the fat is going to regain quicker, your metabolism is going to be slower, and because you don't have enough muscle mass, you're even putting your bones at risk. There's also side effects that are really common that are gut and digestive issues. That is like nausea or kind of having diarrhea or just having gastric upset. So as I said earlier, these medications make gastric emptying be a little bit more delayed. So that just means that the food is actually sitting into your stomach and in your body for a little bit longer, which can lead to gas, can lead to bloating, can lead to diarrhea, constipation, and just not feeling great. There's even been some cases where people have to go to the emergency room due to blockages in their GI tract. Nobody wants that, right? And something that I don't hear people talking about enough is the emotional effects of these medications. You know, it's kind of the same thing. Like I know people that have gotten surgery to, you know, have weight loss, right? And I clearly remember talking to these people and they were saying like, I just feel so weird. I don't know who I am. It was like they had this like identity shift where their physical appearance had completely changed, but they didn't have the tools or that inner change that happens when you're losing weight without the aid of a GLP-1 medication. And because of the nausea, I've also heard of people saying that they have lost complete interest in food or cooking. And I'm an Italian American girl. Like, I want to love my food. I want to love the smell of food. I want to love preparing food. And I certainly want to love dining at some of my favorite restaurants, right? And lastly, these medications, especially if you're in the US, these are expensive. I'm talking like $1,000 a month expensive. And for many people that are using these drugs, they're not covered by insurance. And as I mentioned, if you don't have those habit change, long-term usage of these drugs is what's required to maintain your results. So I just want to reiterate, whether you choose to use these drugs or not, that's your personal choice. But you absolutely have to implement some lifestyle shifts and changes in order to keep the results and not be on this medication forever. So the biggest mistake that I see people making when it comes to GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or whatever, is that they think that that is the entire answer. I'm just gonna get on Wegovy, I'll just get on Ozempic, and that's not the full answer. GLP-1s can be a tool, but don't think of them as the full solution, because quite honestly, they're not. There is not a medication out there that exists that can preserve your muscle tone, rebuild your confidence, restore your metabolism, or teach you how to feel your best in your body long term. The only thing that can do that is making lifestyle changes. Period. There's no shortcut to it. You got to get yourself into the gym. You have to eat high protein foods. You got to make sure that you're eating enough fiber so that your body is moving things, making sure that you're hydrating, doing things for mindfulness. And when it comes to confidence, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right kind of people and that you have some sort of sense of who you really are. Those are things that no pill or no injection can ever give you. So if you are on a GLP-1 medication, and like I said, no judgment here, make sure that you're aiming for at least 100 grams of protein a day. You know, I have a whole video that I made here on my YouTube channel that really breaks it down how to so easily get your 100 grams in a day. It's really not as hard as you think. You've also got to make sure that you're incorporating some strength and resistance training. That's why my fitness membership, Total Body Transformation, we have loads of workouts where you're using your body weight, you're using free weights, you're using bands, and you're just really doing whatever you can to preserve your muscle tone. We even have a workout where we use a weighted vest as a strength training resistance workout. I mean, you don't have to do crazy things, but you absolutely have to get moving and do something. So it's also really, really important to make sure that you're getting in daily mobility. This is important specifically because of that gastric emptying being delayed and the digestive issues. Walking can really, really help to kind of move things along. So just taking a nice daily walk or making sure that you're doing some low impact cardio is really key to making sure that things are moving nicely and you're protecting your heart health. Hydration is key. That's also going to get things moving. It's going to make you feel glowy, and it's just going to help your metabolism stay regulated. And also whatever you need to do to really create these new healthy habits, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, you know, however you choose to lose weight, I've always said this for years, that it's really an inner game. You have to have that mental shift. And once that happens, that's when the weight loss feels easy, it happens quicker, and it's so much easier to sustain it. So once again, I am here to remind you that there is no one size fits all plan when it comes to your health and your wellness. No shame if you're using a GLP-1 medication, and no shame if you're not. But I also want to remind you, don't outsource your health and your wellness to a prescription. Ultimately, it's about you. It's about the choices that you're making. It's about who you're being and how you're showing up in the world, and really how you're making decisions that are going to either serve you and your health and your wellness or not. So if you want to rebuild your strength, your confidence, and really create healthy habits that last, I have a special invitation just for you, my YouTube community, and that's to start Total Body Transformation. That's my fitness membership and community. It is perfectly designed, especially for women over 40. And whether you're on a GLP-1 medication or not, it's going to help you to preserve that lean muscle mass so that even if you are on a weight loss journey, you're not going to lose all of your muscle. All the workouts can be done in your home. And like I said, I've got a really special offer only for you, my YouTube family, so you can check that out. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that this was informative. I hope that it helped you to kind of weigh your decisions a little bit more. Please don't take this lightly. It is a big decision, and whether you choose to use a GLP-1 medication or not, that is a personal choice. So I want to hear from you in the comments. What's been your experience? Have you noticed some of your friends or your family members using the medication, or if you yourself are using it? Let's get active in the comments. And if you want to help support my channel, the easiest and totally free way to do that is just by tapping on that subscribe button. You are awesome, you are amazing, and if you want to keep hanging with me here on YouTube, check out this video next.